Now, let's get to another movie. It's on Netflix. They Cloned Tyrone. I apologize to Bruce Purkey. I said I would watch this movie. I have 65 minutes left for They Cloned Tyrone. So I'm going to have to ask you, Bruce, how much should we give away because regarding They Cloned Tyrone? It's hard because I didn't, if I read the plot synopsis, I'm assuming that they say what happens, but I didn't know. And the fact that something happens 15 minutes in, wow, that was cool to actually, no, not that cool, but it was good to actually have that unfold before me. So it's hard for me to actually do the plot on this. How would you go about it?
Yeah, I agree. And I've seen a couple of trailers like that pop up on your different feeds. And even in the trailers, just seeing the images going by, they give a lot away, it looks like. So
It's not?
I would highly advise people don't
Oh,
watch the trailer.
okay. Don't watch. Okay. Okay. So don't watch the trailer. Do not talk about any kind of reveal within the first 15 minutes. Do we agree on this, Bruce? No reveal on the first 15, like an inciting incident?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, oh man, it's really hard because so much of what you talk about in this movie is about that.
Well,
We can give the setup, and talk about it, I guess, a little bit though.
I can give you the boring log line from Netflix, and then maybe you can
Sure.
jump off of that. I can start
Yeah.
off first, okay? But here's a log line. A series of eerie events. This is a great log line, by the way. A series of eerie events thrusts an unlikely trio, John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, Teyonah Parris, onto the trail of a nefarious government conspiracy in this pulpy mystery caper. Yes, the trio is John Boyega, Teyonah Parris, and Jamie Foxx. There are three people living in the same neighborhood. They have different jobs, and for some reason, they're thrown together to solve this government conspiracy. What do you think of that, Bruce, as an explanation for They Cloned Tyrone?
Yeah, I guess that kind of works.
I'm going to throw a couple other things in the mix. If you like black exploitation films from the 1970s, like Shaft and these type of films, or what is that? Across 110th Street. There's a whole bunch of that movies from that era, The Mac. And if you love that music from that era, Curtis Mayfield, Bobby Womack, that kind of music, Diana Ross, there's Love Hangover in this movie. So if you like that kind of music and that kind of feel, even though it's set in present day, because this is not a spoiler, there is a mention of the importance of cryptocurrency and the blockchain at the beginning of the movie. It's set in current day, but parts of the movie feels like it's set in a very 1970s urban neighborhood, which has a lot of has a lot of soul, has a lot of funk, and a lot of crime and violence, and just a whole atmosphere in this movie that I thought that was very interesting. And so far it's very funny and it's very surprising. So I'm only about an hour in.
Yes.
Bruce, I'm going to leave the baton to you. Is it as excellent as I think it's going to be?
Yes, I think it is as excellent as you think it's going to be. And one of the things that struck me right away, and you guys have to let me know if I start gapping out too much here because I know my internet connection is terrible.
No, you're fine. You're fine right now. You're good.
Right out of the gate, I thought exactly the thing you mentioned, which is like, this seems like a 70s blaxploitation movie. In fact, it's almost like a blaxploitation movie bar joke. You know, a pimp, a whore, and a drug dealer walk into a bar. Or in this
Right.
case, maybe they walk into a chicken joint. But you immediately feel like everything is super stereotypical, super cliched, super, like you said, blaxploitation, like all of those like tropes and those types of characters. And you're thinking about yourself like, what the heck is this movie? But it's funny and the banter is great. And I think Jamie Foxx as Slick Charles the pimp, Jamie Foxx, this is going to stand as one of the best Jamie Foxx roles, or at least one of the most hammy, fun to watch things he's done since In Living Color, as far as I can tell you. I mean, it's this he is just having a heck of a time. And John Boyega is almost unrecognizable when it first starts out. I'm like, wow, I did not even know that was him almost.
And Teyonah
Um,
Parris from If
and
Beale Street Could
Teyonah
Talk.
Parris ends up kind of stealing the movie from underneath them as it goes. And there are a couple great cameos, which I am not mentioning to you. There's a really great cameo you might not have got to yet of an actor that I'm not going to name, who's in
Okay.
here, a very, very, very famous, well-known actor. Um, this movie is like the Jordan Peele movie that he didn't make, crossed with some John Carpenter. And there's one other name of a movie title I could mention that would really give away something. I'm not going to do it. I think this movie is tons of fun, way better than, sorry, Netflix, way better than Netflix deserves. This should be in the theaters. This is
Bruce,
so
do you
fun.
still want to get links from Netflix? Do you still want, we're under government
Yes,
sanction
I
here.
know. That's why I said you didn't hear that last part.
Did you not watch They Cloned Tyrone? I am going to, I'm gonna eat and drink within the confines of our Netflix accounts, Bruce.
And I just want to say, if you don't think, and this is going to be a spoiler, I'm going to give this to you, Greg, too. It's a spoiler.
Don't give it to me. Don't give it to me.
I'm going to give this spoiler to you.
All right.
If you don't think Erykah Badu's Tyrone doesn't appear in the closing credits with a slightly varied version of it, you're wrong. This movie is fantastic.
Okay, you mentioned all the tropes. One thing so far from an hour in, when a movie has so many tropes, you think, okay, well, this is a cool film, but it's intentionally parroting a genre from yesteryear and paying homage. And it is doing that, but it really still feels, and I don't know the trick to it, it still feels so original and fresh and vibrant to me. This movie feels just amazing, and the performances feel so, it's a weird line. All of these characters feel like caricatures, but they're very lived in and real. They're real.
Well, it's
I don't know
weird.
How do you do that?
It's weird because and we're not going to give this away, but they are caricatures for a reason. But then they're real humans that are caricatures. And I'm not going to say why that's really important, but it's a really interesting twist on it. And I would just say, for all those people who like Jordan Peele or respect him as a filmmaker, but feel like his movies aren't enough fun, or maybe they like Get Out, but the other two are just not enough fun for them, this is the movie for you guys.
Do you feel that way? Because I haven't seen the last two films of Jordan Peele.
I like his other films, but I also get it. I get what people, because they're really in their head, and they really have a pace that's not super fast, and they're kind of self-serious. I enjoy them, but they also don't have a ton of humor. And this movie has got humor to spare, and it's just crackling all the way through. And there's just awesome side characters all the way through, which you don't even talk about. There's other gang members that are there. There's others hookers that are running around. There's all the church, the hair shop, the chicken joint. There's the guy named Frog who's like, sitting outside begging for money outside of the
trap house.
Yeah. Well, the guy outside the mini mart, that guy has a role that plays into it too. So all these little characters come into play, and it's just fantastic.
How many movies, Bruce, do you know where the social commentary is part of the comedy and it actually hits pretty? I don't know if it hits really hard by the end, but by the first half of the movie, I'm going, wow, this is really pointed social commentary, and it's still fun, right? I don't know many movies that can do that very well.
I would just say John Carpenter has made one, and I won't say which one it is, but there is one that he's made that is pretty beloved and a cult hit, and it has some strong connections to this movie.
Okay, and I apologize, Bruce, again. I wish I could give this a rating. I still have an hour left to go with They Cloned Tyrone. So far, I am so high on this movie. I really, really love it so far. Yes. But Bruce, your rating.
And am I wrong? Don't you think Eric would love this movie?
I think, that's a no-brainer. He's going to, actually, he would probably, again, I'm only a half hour in. I mean, an hour in. I think he would have probably given a lot more social commentary than we just did right now. We would have probably gone on some kind of rant.
Well. He would have dug a lot deeper than us.
He would have gone, yeah. So that's you and I.
There's a lot more going on in here. And I guess that's why I say Jordan Peele, because it's got that level of satire, social satire going on here, and social commentary.
It's one of those things, like, and then it makes you put a mirror on your own habits in life, and you go and it makes you laugh and it makes you think. It's very rare these kind of movies can do that. Bruce, your rating on They Cloned Tyrone?
As we talked, I had 4.5, but honestly, I got to go 5 stars. I had way too much fun with this movie not to give it 5 stars.
It looks beautiful too. It looks like a movie straight out of the 70s. This is great.
It looks fantastic, and we can't overrate enough the 3 leads in this movie. We can't overrate enough, because everyone knows Jamie Foxx is great. John Boyega is finally starting to get his due. He's fantastic, and Teyonah Parris is so good in this movie.
It's so funny. And look, it's you can actually feel there is I guess from what I've seen, there is a eating chicken scene that you can actually feel them eating the food. And sometimes when you can feel this movie feels like it's, what they say, shot on film. This feels like a very organic film and very entertaining so far. So I'm excited. I'm on the way to giving it 4.5 to 5, I think, as well. So yeah.
And I won't say anything else because we kept jibber jabbering, but we haven't even really mentioned the dialogue in this. There are so many funny lines in this movie, and they're fast. They come very fast. I want to watch this movie just to catch some of the lines. There are not just from Jamie Foxx, but most of them are from Jamie Foxx's character. There are some such amazingly hilarious lines from that character.
Folks, if you're a fan of Paul Verhoeven, you're going to like They Cloned Tyrone because there is a special Paul Verhoeven shout out. That's my little mini spoiler for They Cloned Tyrone. Again, that is on Netflix, I believe, Netflix on Friday, July 21st. Eric Holmes has been silent throughout this entire segment. Are you excited? Is this They Cloned? Does this sound like a movie that you'd like, Eric Holmes? Okay.
Well, I saw the trailer for this a while ago, and I kind of had it marked in my head, but I didn't get to watch it.
Okay.
But you said it comes out the 21st?
Yes. Yeah. On Friday.
I'll probably pregame Oppenheimer with that. So watch that, then go see Oppenheimer.
Okay, so is your Netflix is back and working? Everything good?
We have Netflix. I don't have my account. We have my brother's account here.
Okay, so when they do the screener thing, it's not going on my thing because I don't have my account. It would have to be on my brother's account. It's weird. It's stupid, but I'll watch it when it comes out. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so again, that is They Cloned Tyrone, July 21st.